It's going to be on YouTube. It's going to be on the agenda, so you don't need to record it.
Okay, so
Okay, it is a few minutes after 6, and I would like to call the meeting back to order. And the first item on our agenda for this evening is to come out of camera. We went into camera before we had our supper break and prior to our planning hearing, so if I can have that resolution, please.
resolved that as per section 152(4) of the Municipal Act, Council of the Rural Municipality of St. Clements does now resume sitting of the regular meeting.
Moved by Councillor Gazarovich, second by Councillor Strang. Any discussion? Hearing and seeing none, I'll call the question. All those in favor? Opposed? And that is carried.
So Madam Mayor, now I will start letting people in
Thank you.
that are in the waiting room.
Debbie, at around 7:10, 7:15, can you just let one of us know when she's, Mr. Thomas is at
Oh,
the
sure.
door?
Yeah.
Because he has to come in.
Okay.
Okay.
Yep. Hello, Pawan.
You have to turn your sound up. Hi, Pawan. Oh, it's not
I'm getting early
your speaker on your iPad, your microphone. On your iPad, your microphone.
Okay, let's try it now.
There we go. Can you hear us, Pawan?
Yep, I can hear you. Not much better than echo.
Okay, perfect. Now we're fine. What we'll do is we'll start the planning hearings. I think everybody that's in the waiting room has been able to connect. We're still waiting for a couple of people to connect.
Okay, so the first item on our agenda this evening, there are a few variation orders, and the first one we have is variation order number 52 of 2021. And if I could have a resolution to move into our public hearing, please.
Resolved, the regular meeting be adjourned and the public hearing be open for variation order number 52-2021.
Can I have a mover, please? Councillor Spicer, Councillor Sutherland seconds. Discussion. Hearing and seeing none, I'll call the question. All those in favor? Opposed? And that is carried. Okay, so this is variation order 52 of 2021, and it is at 300 IXL Crescent. And Pawan, if you can go through the application for us.
So Pawan, if you want to start sharing screen, I'll stop my share. Go ahead.
Okay, thank you very much. Does that come up on your end, your council?
Yes.
Yes, it does. Thank you.
No problem. Yes, the first item for public hearing is variation 52-2021. This is the first of 4 variance applications that are being held at 6 o'clock. This application at 300 IXL is to decrease the side yard setback, which is the west side yard, from 10 feet to 6 feet in order to allow an existing tent structure to remain on the subject property within the light industrial zone. The subject property, which is a corner lot, is located on the south side of IXL. A little bit of an older aerial here, but I'm just going to zoom into the property, the site map that was submitted by the applicant. The applicant has a tent structure currently on the property. There is a permit in our office for this tent structure that the applicant is seeking. In order to do so, needs council's approval for the side yard of 6 feet minimum from the west side property line. The structure is going to be meeting all the required setbacks, including building separation requirements. It is our understanding the company that owns this tent structure is going to be using it for daily business storage, which is a sign company, and they have a storage of indicating storage of balls and ball wax and other business equipment. The application was circulated to our administration, and we received no comment regarding this application or any concern. Should council approve this variance, we recommend the following conditions. Number one, this variance west side yard of 6 feet minimum measure to the building wall for an existing accessory building and structure, as proposed for application and submitted site plan. Any changes or replacement will require new variance approval. And number 2, applicant owner obtains all required permits from the Red River Planning District. Number 3, the use of the proposed accessory building with this application for business storage use only. And these are just a couple of drawings that the applicant has submitted for council attention within their package of what the structure looks like. Thank you much, Madam Mayor.
Thank you for that, Colin. Do any council members have questions of the planner at this point in time? I do see a couple of people with us on Zoom. Is the applicant in the audience on Zoom? Okay, if council is ready to deal with this application, if there are no questions for the planner and the applicant is not appearing to be present this evening, what I will do is I will ask to close the public hearing on this variation. Before you read that though, I see Heather is looking at something. Heather, is the applicant on Zoom with us this evening?
No, I don't think. It's one guy's for this next one.
John T.
Yeah, that's for this next.
Okay, and what about Carl K?
I don't even see.
For the next applications.
Okay, so with that, I will ask to close the public hearing on variation order number 52 of 2021, please.
Resolve the public hearing for variation order 52, 2021 be closed and regular session of council be reconvened.
Can I have a mover, please? Councillor Horvis, second. Councillor Strang. Discussion. Hearing and seeing none. Call the question. All those in favor? Opposed? That is carried. Now I will ask for a resolution for the variation if council is prepared to deal with this application this evening.
So, Madam Mayor, I'll just read off the beginning and the end of the resolution.
Thank you.
So, whereas the applicant owner of tax roll number 211-489, legally described as Lot 9, Block 2, Plan 4359-3, and located at 300 IXL Crescent, has made application for variation order number 52 of 2021 from side yard 10 feet minimum interior to side yard interior to 6 feet minimum to reduce the minimum permitted interior side yard of an accessory building in order to allow for existing accessory building tent structure on the subject property. Therefore be it resolved that the conditions that the planner read out and that this order shall expire if not acted upon within 12 months of date of making.
That's moved by Councillor Horvis, second Councillor Spicer. Any discussion? Hearing and seeing none, I'll call the question. All those in favor? Opposed? And that is carried. Okay, I believe we need a resolution now to enter into a variation order or public hearing for variation order number 53 of 2021.
Resolve the regular meeting be adjourned and the public hearing be open for variation order 53 of 2021.
Mover, please. Councillor Horvis, second. Councillor Sutherland, any discussion? Hearing and seeing none, I'll call the question. All those in favor? Opposed? And that is carried. Colin, can you please walk us through variation order 53 of 2021?
Certainly, Madam Mayor. Am I coming clear on your end there?
Yes, you are. Thank you.
Thank you much, Madam Mayor. The next item is variation 53-2021. It is located at 181 McKay Road. The variance application on the subject property is two variances are being required. One is to vary the side yard corner from 30 feet to 10 feet for an existing accessory building, which is a 150 square foot shed. The second variance is again to reduce the side yard corner from 30 feet to 12 feet for an accessory building, which is approximately 1,108 square feet garage proposed on the property. The subject property located on the northeast corner of Marvin Garden Road and Gay Road. It is currently developed with home and as well as an existing garage, and the applicant is proposing a garage on the property. The property is approximately 1.39 acres roughly area and has approximately 184 feet of site width along the Gay Road. The applicant has indicated that they are seeking a variance for the garage to allow the garage to be on the west side of the property. They have provided some details for council within their letter of intent. One of the reasons that they do not want to have the garage on the other side, which has a little bit abundance of room, is that there are mature trees that they do not wish to destroy, as well as there are significant impacts from hydro and driveway costs building on that side of the property. It should be noted that the combined floor area will still be met with the proposed garage location, proposed garage sizes as presented in this application. So in terms of the amount of accessory buildings and a number of total square footage for floor area, that is going to be adhered to. However, it is the side yard corner that council is reviewing and wanting, if council chooses to give approval of this application, we recommend the following conditions. Number one, the variance is limited to a corner side yard of 10 feet for an existing accessory building, which is a 150 square foot shed with an overhang projection of 12 inches into the proposed setback, as well as a minimum corner side yard of 12 feet west side yard for a proposed accessory building, which is a 1,150 square foot garage shop with an overhang projection of 18 inches into the proposed setback as per the application. Any further changes, replacement, or condition would require new variance approval. Number two, the applicant owner obtains all required permits from the Red River Planning District. Number three, the use of the proposed garage and shed is for personal use only and not to be used as an application. And that is all I have for this amendment.
Thank you for that, Pawan. Any questions to the planner from members of council? Hearing and seeing none, I would request if the owner is in the audience on Zoom, have you anything to add to the application?
They're on, we see if they unmute themselves.
Is it Mr. K? Mr. K, did you have anything that you wanted to add to your application? I understand this is your variation order. If you wanted to say anything to council or the planner, you'll have to unmute yourself, please.
Unmute. There we go.
There we go. Good.
That's great. Good show. Yes, we're dealing here with a skunk dog, but we're certainly going to listen to. We heard everything you had to say here. Yes, nice odor, I can tell you. No, I think that what Pawan had mentioned was the first structure that it may have been done by the previous owner. Indeed, it was. He built it in 1994 because we cornered him on that. And I show you a picture of the roof. Is not in good shape, but it's a stucco structure, and it's been there since 1994. And cement base, so we weren't going to move that. But what is germane to discussion is it's a garage that we propose there beside the existing home. That's what we really want to get permission to proceed with.
Right. And if you heard the conversation and what Pawan said, one of the conditions is that that shop or garage not be used as a habitable space. Like, what are your plans for that shop?
Oh, no, it won't be used for habitable space. It will just be for like a workshop. I like to do some work with some equipment and things like that. It will not be habitable, no.
Okay. All right, I just
Now,
want
one thing he did mention in his document was that regarding permits, I don't feel that we should have to apply for a permit for the existing shed there. I mean, we bought this property in 2019 in good faith that everything was taken care of. Why would we have to have a building permit for that? I think only need for it.
Right, I'll ask Pawan if he can answer that. Like, are you asking them, Pawan, to have a permit application for the existing building that's been there since 1994, or just the new building?
Yeah, unfortunately, Mayor, with this one, there's no record of any permit on this building. So it's already not in compliance because of, for one, first of all, it needs the variance. Second, there is no permit history. So in this case, unfortunately, they may have inherited an issue unless they have any permit information, which we did not find any. It's something that they may want to seek, discuss with the previous owner, or if there's any title insurance that they had gotten on that, then that's something that they would have to work with. But they would be required as a condition to bring all buildings into compliance, because currently the building, the size as well as the location is not in compliance to the permits that are offered. We don't have any.
Of course, in 1994, maybe you did apply a permit and you lost it. We wouldn't know that.
Well, I guess I'm going to ask this question of the planner. It is a 150 square foot shed. So what is the cost for a building permit for such a small shed? I didn't think that a permit was required for a shed that small.
The permits of any buildings over 120 square feet do require permits. I don't have the actual permit final cost, unfortunately. That would be something that it's based on our fee bylaw, but I don't have the actual, I think it should be a couple $100, but it's not significant compared to a garage or anything else, but I don't have the actual, unfortunately, that number for you. But as far as permit history, unfortunately, unless the applicant has any documentation, we don't have any permit, go by the records, and our records are pretty, do go by that part, so.
Okay.
Well, toss it in with the cost of the variance. I mean, that's $240. Why don't you just toss it in with that and be done?
Well, pardon me, Mr. K, but we do not tell planning how to charge their fees, so that is something that you may want to discuss with Red River Planning. And if you just bear with me for a second, I see one of the council members has a question or a comment here. Go ahead, Councillor Bazarowicz.
Yeah, I agree with Mr. K that going back to '94, I don't understand why they didn't charge for a permit for something that they bought. Now my question to Mr. Gill is, how far back do you guys go with that? Like, what if it was built in 93 or 90 or 89? Like, there's a lot of homes out there that have changed hands over the years that, maybe there wasn't even permits back then. So how far do you actually go back?
There have been permits since at least 1987. That is when the Selkirk District Planning Area Board was incorporated.
Okay.
So anything after that would have a permit. Before that, I couldn't speak to. So, go ahead, Mr. K.
That's Rob.
Oh, go ahead, Rob, sorry.
I could suggest that the applicant send a message or talk to somebody at planning and just ask if he would make a recommendation to them on something they could work out. When you buy a home, under the assumption that the deck, the pool, the fence, and in this case, a shed, is part of what you're buying, one doesn't know what you're buying sometime, and you buy something and then you find out that it's not in compliance. Well, I don't know, I mean, he can make a recommendation or ask for something from planning and go from there. That's all he can do.
That is absolutely correct, Councillor Belanger, but I see our CAO would like to speak to this, so go ahead, please, Mr. Yashi.
So, Madam Mayor, first, when a house is purchased, in the past, there was a requirement for legal lawyers to verify if there were any permits or outstanding orders against properties. But with the introduction of title insurance, most individuals have chosen the title insurance, which is supposed to cover for these types of scenarios. So when you're acquiring a house, if your deck is not conforming, or if you have a building that was constructed without permits, title insurance is supposed to help cover those types of scenarios in order to cover for those kinds of costs for getting all the necessary approvals to make it legal. So the owner has the opportunity to approach the title insurance. I'm not sure how long their title insurance was covering them for, considering they bought this some 30-plus years ago, or almost 30 years ago, they'll have to check on that. As to the permits, if the director of, the executive director of the Red River Planning District has some leeway in determining permit costs depending on the circumstances associated, that's where they can make that request, as you suggested, Councilor Boulanger. But I want to make it clear, title insurance is what's there for people when they acquire property to verify if it, when it's not appropriately permitted.
Okay, if there
I
are,
appreciate that feedback.
okay, if
I
there are,
appreciate the feedback.
thank you for that, Mr. Kay. If there are no other comments or questions, I just wanted to ask Mr. I'm sorry if I pronounce this wrong, Kyan Hohen, do you have anything on this application, or were you here for another application?
Here for application 60.
Okay, okay, I just wanted to make sure that I didn't miss you if you were here to speak to this one. So if there are no other questions for the planner, I'm going to ask that we have the resolution to close the public hearing on variation 53 of 2021.
Resolve the public hearing for variation order 53 of 2021 be closed and regular session of council be reconvened.
Can I have a mover, please? Councillor Sutherland, Councillor Bazarowicz seconds. Discussion. Hearing and seeing none, I'll call the question. All those in favor? Opposed? And that is carried. We do have a resolution. If council is ready to proceed, I will ask Deepak to please read the resolution.
Whereas the applicant owner of tax roll number 33396, legally described as Lot 1, Block 1, or Block 3, Plan 14875, Winnipeg Land Titles Office, and located at 181 McKay Road, has made application for variation order number 53 of 2021 from corner side yard, existing 150 square feet accessory building to shed 30 feet minimum to corner side yard, 150 square foot shed to 10-foot minimum side yard with overhang projections. And then from corner side yard, proposed garage, 30 feet minimum to corner side yard, proposed garage to 12 feet with an overhang projection of a maximum 18 inches into the proposed setback. Purpose to reduce the minimum required side yard corner to the two accessory buildings, existing garden shed and proposed garden garage shop on a subject property. Therefore, be a resolved variation order number 53 of 2021 be approved with the following conditions. The conditions that were read out by the planner, Madam Mayor, and then this order shall expire if not acted upon within 12 months of the date of making.
Can I have a mover, please? Councillor Strang, Councillor Spicer seconds. Any further discussion? Hearing and seeing none, I'll call the question. All those in favor? Opposed? And that is carried. Okay, we have another. Yes, you are. Thank you.
Yes, thank you for your time.
You're quite welcome. Okay, we're going to move on to variation order number 57 of 2021, and that is again a variation order at West Street in Lakeshore Heights. And if we could have the resolution to move into the variation or the public hearing portion.
Resolve the regular meeting be adjourned and a public hearing be open for variation order 57 of 2021.
Can I have a mover, please? Councillor Spicer, Councillor Horbis seconds. Discussion. Hearing and seeing none, I'll call the question. All those in favor, opposed, and that is carried. And Howard, if you could go ahead with this application, please.
Thank you much, Madam Mayor. I'm coming clear on your end again?
Yes, you are. Thank you.
Thank you. Yes, the next item of variation 57 of 2021 is located at 104 West Street. The variation application has two variance requests for council consideration. One is to reduce the front yard setback from 30 feet to 5 feet for a proposed 432 square foot garage. And the second is to reduce the permitted rear yard from 10 feet to 5 feet for an existing 120 square foot garage. The property is located within the seasonal residential zone. It is also on the northeast side of the West Street. It is currently developed with a home, a couple of existing sheds, and it does have access to the property from the West Street side. West Street, sorry. The intent is of the application. The applicant is seeking council approval to allow a garage to remain 5 feet from the front property line. The garage will have an overhang of 12 inches on all sides, and it is our understanding that the applicant wants to store their vehicle and property within the garage. It is not considered a minimum modification in terms of what is typically approved. Now, the applicant has proposed some previous or some garages in the area that are all along West Street, and from the garage that we searched for a similar size of garage from 2015, council previously approved an 18 by 24 garage to be 15 feet from the front property line. So you may want to take this into factor when allowing the 5 feet exemption here. Now, the applicant has pointed out some things on the site plan. One is there is a boulder in the middle of the property, as well as they are trying to maintain a building separation from their house. So as a couple of notes for council, they do need a 10 feet building separation, clear wall projections from the garage and the home. And the applicant has indicated there's a woodshed in the rear, which they're going to have removed. And this could be something that we address during the building permit process for the garage. But if council does want to pose any conditions, they can also include that within the recommendation. So that's something that I mentioned in my report. Should council approve the requested variance, we recommend the following conditions. Number one, the variance is limited to minimum front yard setback of 5 feet for the proposed accessory building, a 432 square foot garage with an overhang projection of 12 inches into the proposed setback, as well as a minimum rear yard setback of 5 feet for an existing shed, which is a thin shed, as presented in this application. Any further changes, replacement, or addition would require a new variance approval. Number two, the applicant obtains all required permits from the Redford Planning District. And number three, the use of the proposed garage and shed is for personal use only, and not to be used as habitable space. And that is all I have for this one, Madam Chair.
Thank you very much, Colin. Any questions from members of council to the planner? Okay, Mr. Kuyvenhoven, are you the applicant on this proposal, or were you here to speak for or against it?
I'm an applicant for the next one, number 6.
Oh, we still didn't get, okay, sorry about that. I thought you were for
No
this
problem.
one. So, okay, so there is no representation on this particular application that I can see. So if council is ready to deal with it, I will ask for a resolution to close the public hearing and we'll move on.
Resolve the public hearing for variation order 57 of 2021 be closed and regular session of council be reconvened.
Madam Mover, please. Councillor Spicer, second Councillor Bazarowicz. Any discussion? Hearing and seeing none, on the question, all those in favor? Opposed? And that is carried. And if council is ready to deal with this application, I will ask our CEO to please read the resolution.
Whereas the applicant owner tax roll number 702276 legally described as lot 21, block 2, plan 11847, Winnipeg Land Titles Office, and located at 104 West Street, has made application for variation order number 57 of 2021 from front yard 30 feet to front yard 5 feet with an overhang projection of minimum 12 inches into the proposed setback for a 432 square foot proposed accessory building, which is a garage, from rear yard 10 feet to rear yard 5 feet for an existing 120 square foot tin shed to remain. Purpose to reduce the minimum required front yard and rear yard in order to allow for a proposed 432 square foot garage to be constructed and an existing 120 square foot shed to remain on the subject property. And therefore be it resolved and variation order to be approved with the following conditions, which the planner has read out, Madam Mayor. And then this order shall expire if not acted upon within 12 months of the date of making.
Thank you for that. Can I have a mover? Councillor Orbis, second Councillor Sutherland. Any discussion? Hearing and seeing none, I'll call the question. All those in favor? Opposed? And that is carried. Okay, we have one more variation to deal with this evening, and that is variation number 60 of 2021. And I will ask for a resolution to move into our public hearing.
Resolve the regular meeting be adjourned and the public hearing be open for variation order number 60 of 2021.
Can I have a mover, please? Councillor Sutherland, Councillor Strang, seconds. Discussion. Hearing and seeing none, I'll call the question. All those in favor? Opposed? Carried. Okay, so this is our last variation, and it is for a, on 70 Goner Trail, and I will ask our planner to please go ahead. So go ahead, Colin, please.
Thank you much, Madam Mayor. Am I coming clearly on there?
Yes, you are, thank you.
Thank you much. Yes, the next one is 70 Garner Trail. The variation is to allow for required height from 15 feet to 19 feet for proposed accessory building, as well as increase unit size from 1,200 square feet to 1,800 square feet for a proposed accessory building. The subject property located on the west side of Garner Trail, which is a cul-de-sac, is currently developed with a home. It has actually 3 accessory buildings, and the applicant is proposing a principal building, which is 1,800 square feet in floor area. The applicant has indicated a couple things for council's attention here. One is that they have a neighboring shed that is currently encroaching on the property, and they are currently working with the neighbor to resolve that issue. This shed does not belong. That's in actually the the west side of the property there. They also have a grain bin that they're planning to sell off and remove, and they have a 6x10 shed that would also be removed when new building is done. Currently, there's another shed at 12 by 24 sitting on skid that would actually require a permit, and they are proposing to keep that. There is a limit of 2 accessory buildings. The applicant is not applying for any variances regarding that. At the end of the day, it is our understanding that in addition to the proposed accessory building in this application, they are also planning to keep a 12 by 24 shed on the property as well. The subject property is 4 acres and it's significantly large. It is the general development zone. So we feel that there's no impact with regards to the proposed accessory building as well as the shed that they want to keep on the property to have any impact on neighboring properties. If council chooses to approve this variance, we do recommend that there be conditions of approval that would be included as a part of the requirement, and I will read those conditions as required. Number 1, the applicant owner is to, the variance is limited to a building height of 19 feet and a unit area of 1,800 square feet for a proposed accessory building as presented in this application. And any further changes, replacement, or additions would require new variance approval. And number 2, the applicant owner obtains all required permits from the Reservoir Planning District. Number 3, the use of the proposed garage is for personal use only and not to be used as navigable space. And that is all I have to say.
Thank you for that, Colin. Any questions to the planner from members of council? Okay, now I will get to you as the applicant. Do you have anything that you would like to add to your application at this point?
No, just thank you for your time, and I guess I was kind of caught, like Mr. K there, with the surprise of some buildings I had inherited. One building crosses property line with the neighbor, so it's a very old shed, and I've had some discussions with him. He was planning to be on this meeting just to discuss that, but he's actually thinking he might just go and pull a permit for it because he likes to have it standing there to, as next to his garden, as a wind barrier. I don't use that shed. It was there when I bought it, as well as the grain bin. It's probably been there for 50 or 60 years. It was, I guess, farmland when we bought this. Yeah, that's basically all I have to say. And the height requirement is mostly just due to a loft that we want to put into that building and kind of match the existing house roof line of 612, the roof pitch. And so, we have this high roof, and we decided, well, maybe we can make a loft in there as, you know, for storage and stuff. We are a large family with 4 kids. The oldest is 19, youngest is 11, and they're all starting to drive cars and you know, yard work and stuff to do. So it's a thing of room. That's all I have to say.
Okay, I'm going to ask council if they have any questions, and I see one member of council has their hand up, and it's Councillor Belanger, who is actually on Zoom with us this evening also. So go ahead, Councillor Belanger.
Thank you, Madam Chair. I just want to ask the applicant to make sure that there's no plans of inhabiting that lot in that upper story of the garage.
Yeah, you're correct. There's no intent of anybody having there. Our house has 5 bedrooms, so we're all getting there, and we're not going to be moving anything, any person into that building.
Thank you.
Thank you for that. Anybody else from council have questions to the applicant? And I guess that was going to be my question, with the height of the building that you want, is it just for storage, or did you have other ideas for what you wanted to do with that building? But you've answered that, so. If there are no other questions from members of council, I will ask our CAO for a resolution to close this public hearing, and we can proceed with moving it forward.
Resolve the public hearing for variation order 60 of 2021 be closed, the regular session of council be reconvened.
Can I have a mover, please? Councillor Horvis, Councillor Belanger seconds. Any questions, queries? Hearing and seeing none, I'll call the question. All those in favor? Opposed? That is carried. And I guess I'm just going to say to the applicant, the reason we're kind of questioning what you're planning to do with that loft is we're finding not only in our municipality but other municipalities, people are requesting a little bit bigger or higher buildings, and then it ends up to be a living space, and it's definitely not allowed, and I wouldn't want to see you get into any hot water over doing something that you really shouldn't be doing in that upper story of that building. So just for your own peace of mind, if you could just leave it as storage, that would be awesome.
Yeah, I understand. Bob made a good point to me about that too, so I totally understand.
Okay, thank you very much for that. So with that, I will ask our CAO to please read the resolution for the application.
Whereas the applicant owner of tax roll number 35152, legally described as Lot 1, Block 1, Plan 46371, and located at 70 Goner Trail, has made application for variation order number 60 of 2021 from accessory building height 15 feet maximum to accessory height 19 feet maximum, from unit area of accessory building of 1,200 square feet to unit area accessory building to 1,800 square feet. Purpose to increase the maximum required height and unit area of proposed accessory building on a subject property. Therefore, be it resolved variation order 60 of 2021 be approved with the following conditions, and those conditions were read out by the planner, Madam Mayor, and the order shall expire if not acted upon within 12 months of the date of making.
Thank you for that. Can I have a mover, please? Councillor Strang. Can I have a seconder, please? Councillor Belanger. Any further discussion? Hearing and seeing none, I'll call the question. All those in favor? Opposed? And that is carried. Okay, so that ends our variation order hearings this evening, and you can go ahead and apply for your permit and all those things whenever you so wish. It's been approved by council.
Thank you very much for your time.
You're very welcome. Okay, we do have a subdivision hearing, but it's not till for 7:15, so we do have a little bit of time. So I wonder if we could maybe do the zoning bylaw. That's number 15 on our agendas.
Madam Mayor, so bringing up zoning bylaw number 2 for second reading, which is resolved bylaw number 2 of 2021 being a bylaw of the Arm of St. Clements to amend the Arm of St. Clements zoning bylaw 5 of 2002 as amended, be given second reading.
Can I have, oops.
Sorry, go ahead.
Can I have a mover, please? Councillor Sutherland, Councillor Bazarowicz seconds. Discussion. Hearing and seeing none, I'll call. Oh, sorry.
Oh, I was just going to say that if you wanted somebody to, explain out the bylaw, or if the council is ready, we can just proceed next?
Well, I think we briefly talked about it earlier or last week, that this was as a result of a public hearing that we had a couple of weeks ago or a month ago.
Correct.
And it was given,
First reading and the rezoning was approved. But it was awaiting on
right,
the subdivision, because in case there was any appeals,
yes,
and if it met the appeals minimum.
right. And there were no appeals, or there weren't enough appeals for it to trigger a hearing at Red River Planning. So,
Correct.
okay, so I have a mover, have a seconder. Any questions? Hearing and seeing none, I'll call the question. All those in favor? Opposed? That is carried. And we can give it third reading also.
Resolve bylaw 2 of 2021 being a bylaw of the Arma St. Clements to amend the Arma St. Clements zoning bylaw 5 of 2002 as amended, be read a third time.
Can I have a mover, please? Councillor Horgus, second. Councillor Spicer, discussion. Hearing and seeing none, I'll call the question. All those in favor? Opposed? And that is carried unanimously. Okay, so I'm not sure if council would like to go. We have about, almost half an hour. We have 40 minutes. 25 minutes, I'll back that up, 25 minutes. Do we want to go back in camera and see if we can do a couple of shorter items?
As well.
Okay, this is Mr. Thomas, I believe, is at the door.
Okay, just let them know we don't have to wait.
We won't have to wait, we can probably go directly to Madam Mayor.
We have
Yeah.
opposition.
Oh, we have opposition.
Are they coming in? Oh, okay.
So we can't let them come in.
They're coming in. He can sit over,
He can sit in the.
but you
Yeah,
guys,
we'll have to keep our voices
you
lower.
guys, Carrie,
Yeah.
do you want me to get Gary on, or you want to do a different topic?
We'll leave Gary, that'll be a longer topic.
Can we discuss the bridge so that you can let them know?
The bridge.
The closure on July 7th?
For the filming.
Oh, for the filming, yes.
Okay,
Shut the door.
so Colin, we're gonna go in camera for probably about 20 minutes. So do you want to come back for 7:15? We would go ahead because Mr. Thomas is here, but we do have some letters of objection. So if somebody doesn't come to Zoom till, 7:10, we have to make sure that we haven't dealt with it. So if you can join us back here, probably about 7:10 or so.
Certainly, Madam Mayor. I'll
Okay.
see you in 10 after 7.
Thank you.
Okay, I need to shut the,
Recording, well, let's go in
Well,
camera first.
Resolve, council recess the regular meeting and go into in-camera to discuss legal and personnel issues, and further be it resolved that all matters discussed are to remain confidential as per section 83(1)D of the Municipal Act.
Moved by Councillor Sutherland, second Councillor Strang, discussion. Hearing and seeing none, call the question. All those in favor? Opposed? And that is carried. Okay, why don't we do